Juno Award-winning musician, author, co-creator of Beautiful Scars, and member of the Order of Canada. You probably know who I'm talking about, Mr. Tom Wilson.
Well, hi, how are you?
Is joining us today. We are at Beckett Fine Art, and it is all to do with your brand new art show.
That's right. This is the first show of 2025. I have 3 coming up this year. It's a good place to start in Hamilton, Ontario. Fantastic place to start at Beckett Fine Arts here on Locke Street. And so I'm bringing a brand new show.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's called Blood Memory. Blood Memory sounds like a scary thing.
It does. It sounds very dark.
The second book that I'm finishing right now for Penguin Random House is also called Blood Memory.
Okay.
So we're going from the era of Beautiful Scars, book, movie, play, to Blood Memory, art show, book, and we got to fill in the blanks.
There's going to be a play. I can just feel
Blood Memory is like, I don't care where you're from. You could be from Scotland. You could be from Spain. Doesn't matter. You know, you look at old photographs and you see someone like a great-great-grandmother or even further back, and you say, oh my God, that looks just like my son, or that looks just like my daughter. Okay. Well, that's to me, that's a physical blood memory.
Yeah.
For me, blood memory is the fact that I didn't know my true identity until 12 years ago.
You were like 53 years old when you found out.
I was 53 years old. I thought I was a big, puffy, sweaty Irish guy. Turns out that I'm a Mohawk guy from Ganawage. In knowing that, the blood memory that's been coming out is actually this art that we're looking at here. Wow. I started painting like this in 1997. And about 15, 20 years ago, my daughter said to me, Dad, you got to stop painting like this. This is cultural appropriation, to which I said, this is just what's coming out of me.
Interesting.
And then 12 years ago, I find out that I'm actually Mohawk, that I'm actually indigenous, and that this art that I've been creating naturally has been something that's evolved out of my blood. Hence my blood memory.
Oh, that is so remarkable. And the fact that, I mean, you've been creating, whether it be music, art, books, plays, for so many years. I feel as though, you know, going from music, this was almost like a bit of a natural transition for you.
Well, it's all, you know, it's all the same thing, you know. The wheelhouse, the creative energy that we use can produce anything. Mostly, what we try to produce as people working to be artists is to create something that wasn't there yesterday. And artists are kind of a standalone group of people, because unlike politicians and religion and corporations who try to control the world, artists try to create for the world to make it a better place, honestly. And so hopefully some of these colors and shapes and themes are going to at least inspire some kind of peace of mind.
I agree.
Or peaceful mind.
I agree. Okay, we have so much more coming up from Thomas Beckett Art Gallery. Just make sure you stay with us, because there's much more to unpack with this guy on Morning Live.
Come back.
We are back at Beckett Fine Art with the art of the legendary Tom Wilson. Blood Memory is the new show. Officially opens Thursday. We are seeing the reception on Saturday, the 7th?
Yeah, this Saturday.
Yes, Saturday from 1 o'clock until 4. You can come and check out all of his incredibly beautiful and fascinating works of art. This is something new for you. You've come out with almost like a silkscreen version. It
is a silkscreen version, inspired by Tom Beckett, who said, what would you think of creating original art pieces, not recreations, original art pieces in silkscreen? And I had never thought about that. I wasn't familiar with it, but between Tom Beckett and Smokestack down in Cotton Factory, Smokestack are an incredible group of people who create artistic driven silkscreen work. They have their own gallery out of the Cotton Factory. Anyway, anyways, my friend Lane there, who I've become friends with, walked me through the process of doing this. He gave me a couple screens. I said I wanted to do 2 color art, which is black on white, and the second color being red. So this is the first of a series that we're going to be doing, these 2.
Just in the silk screens.
Just in silk screens. Once again, it is it's original art created on the silk screen just for this limited edition. And once they're gone, well, they are gone.
Well,
and Tom Beckett has inspired this kind of thing for me because, I mean, he sells my art. He oversaw the installation of my art at the Theatre Aquarius here in town. And more recently at the McMichael Gallery in Kleinburg, who installed a piece. Tom Beckett was on the scene, so way to go, Tom.
He's the best.
He truly is.
I also like these, not to talk about price point, but they are a little bit more budget friendly for art connoisseurs.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's not like I'm, nobody's getting rich here. How's that? You know, selling art is, you know, kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you sell art, sometimes you don't.
Well, it's very subjective, isn't it?
Yeah, it truly is.
Yeah.
So, and you know, if people like it, this is something that they could walk in off the street and pick up. You know, a lot easier than buying one of these massive pieces of canvas that I've created.
Well, we were talking before about the length and time that it takes you, and it isn't really about doing it. It's more of, you were saying, a meditation for you. This is not something that is stressful for you. This is a calming, grounding experience.
Well, just waking up in the morning is stressful for me. So my stress and my anxiety pretty well starts before I open my eyes.
Yeah, I get that.
But this is my meditation.
Yeah.
These pieces of work are where I get to shut out a lot of the noise of the world. It's something that we all need. I mean, I advise people when I lecture at universities and colleges and museums and things, I talk about the importance of creation and that what the world is missing and what the world is overlooking and what the education system does not pronounce for students and young people is the fact that if you're creating, then you're satisfying a part of you that is definitely not going to get satisfied by the world around us.
It's very true. That is 100% a true sentiment. Okay, more with Tom Wilson coming up on Morning Live. Beckett Fine Art, established back in 1966, has been showcasing beautiful art for decades, and today certainly no exception. The artworks of Mr. Tom Wilson. We have been discussing, you know, your newest show that comes out this week. The reception is on Saturday from 1 until 4. People can come in, take a look at some of your art, but I want to get down to some nitty-gritty. I want to get down to some details of inspiration. We talk a little bit about how this is a meditative experience for you, but what are your thoughts during something like this?
All right, Birth of a Warrior. This is called Birth of a Warrior. A lot of times I paint 2 heads on the same painting. I call these, I've been likening these to self-portraits only because of the 2 worlds I lived in.
Right.
My Mohawk blood, which is in Ganawage Mohawk territory in Quebec, and the fact that I was taken from Ganawage and raised here in Hamilton. In the world of titles, I'm known as a 60s scoop kid. So these are the 2 worlds that I lived in, the blood that ran through me and my feet that ran through the streets of Hamilton for many, many decades. So this is the birth of a warrior. You can consider this a self-portrait. Now, I don't work necessarily in traditional indigenous themes in my art. Not that I am particularly original about what I do. I just tell one story. That's my story. It's the same as when I am writing this second book. I don't write a book standing or representing any other nations or any other people. I tell one story. That's my story. Nice. So in these paintings, I'm telling my story. This is basically the birth of a warrior, is the 2 versions, the Mohawk and the Hamilton version of me. And that's I'm in utero, obviously. And I am in some cool wombs, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
This is some dynamite wombs.
Like the intricacy and the detail and the millions and millions of little dots.
Yeah, crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
That's one word for it.
This is one of my favorite paintings that I think I've ever done.
It's
I mean, I have a
stunning.
few. This one, the one that we saw earlier, which is called Traveling Prayer, I really love too. And it's funny, you know what? This is going to get too much for daytime TV, but
That's okay, we like it.
These shapes that I'm putting in here, and you can see in
the canoe.
In the canoe, I've been doing these shapes since I was 5 years old.
Really?
And I used to do these shapes throughout school. And it was dealing with, I don't know, whatever it was.
Well, you were doodling out your...
Doodling
yeah.
my entire life.
Yeah.
And this is what I was painting, and I was basically escaping, you know, the chains of education, and moving on to another realm of consciousness. So now I've started to establish what I've been painting my entire life into these pieces of art.
Amazing, just amazing. Okay, make sure you stay with us. We've got more on the inspiration of where the art comes from for Tom Wilson on Morning Live. Back with the incredible Tom Wilson at Beckett Fine Art, and we're talking about the show happening, of course, this week, the reception this weekend, and it goes from 1 to 4 on Saturday. This is such a wonderful relationship that you and Tom have created with your art.
Well, the history of Tom's family and the Beckett Gallery in Hamilton goes back as decades of Indigenous allies, artist allies. Going back to the early 70s when Tom's family started working, representing, and putting paintings up of Norval Morrisseau. And Norval Morrisseau, of course, a Picasso of the North, responsible for the worldwide acknowledgement of woodland-style art. And that's actually how I met Tom. I was reading a book on Norval Morrisseau.
No way.
And I was walking down Locke Street to get my coffee, and I'd been reading this book, and I walked past the window, and I never even had been in the Beckett Gallery, and I saw a Norval Morrisseau painting in the window, and it's like, what is a Norval Morrisseau painting doing on Locke Street? You know, and so I went in and started talking with Tom. I bought the painting, and it was a real Morrisseau. As you know, there is a lot of controversy. There's films being made about the authenticity of Morrisseau paintings. This one was a real one. Of
course it was. It was
this
here.
one came from the hand of God and was made available through this gallery.
Hi, Tom.
So the idea that I'm here working as an Indigenous artist and that Tom is representing my work here is, as you said before we came on camera, a perfect fit for the two of us.
Yeah.
There's a deep appreciation for ongoing. Also, Arthur Schilling was another Indigenous artist that Tom Beckett's family has dealt with. So this is a great place to be.
It is.
And you know what? This is one of the, it's not even a hidden gem. It's just a gem in Hamilton that anybody can walk through these doors and see this art. You know, it's an important institution.
What I find is that it is so not pretentious. It isn't intimidating.
It's Hamilton.
Well, no, but there's something about art sometimes that can scare people a little bit because they don't really know how to almost behave themselves when it comes to being in an art gallery and, you know, rubbing elbows with who said who. And I find walking in here, it's very welcoming. It is very calming. It's lovely.
It is. The pretension of art comes from people who are not confident enough in the work that they're doing. That goes for theater or music or the written or spoken spoken word or visual arts. And the fact of the matter is that once you allow yourself to free fall and create, you have nothing to exude but confidence in your work, and it's not ego, it's just a product of what you've done, you know. So there's no pretension here.
No.
You know, I'm also on the board. I'm a board member of the Art Gallery of Hamilton.
Yeah.
There's no pretension there. Everybody is wide open.
Amazing.
So it is it's something that has been characterized, I think, through films with, you know, snooty,
Maybe.
you know, snooty New York cocktail parties,
Maybe.
you know, with artists possibly. Everybody is just trying to get by, right?
Yeah, and make some beautiful things along the way. Are you going to be at the reception?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Well, come down Saturday from 1 to 4 to Beckett Fine Art here on Locke Street. We're going to have all the information on our website at chch.com. Tom, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.